7. And we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So the first item on our agenda tonight is board calendar and public records request. Board, any comments? Next item is the first read of a handful of policies. I believe that, yes, so as long as we get past first read, then we'll move them forward for second reading. I'm not sure exactly if it's the best for me. We can push them out there. We don't have to force them to the system, so we can move them forward if we need more time. Okay, no problem. Red face on you, lady, did you have any comments?
No, it's okay.
Oh, thank you. Joanne, Kathy, any feedback from you on any of the policies or procedures?
I was glad to see in the homeless, Kitty Vento, that we gave consideration for siblings placement. That was really, really important. And I did, and I was also very happy to see that there was, for the overnight field trip, that there was a possibility of help in that.
Great, thank you. I had 2 comments. One was a question. If the document 327F, the form FIB for incident reporting, if that form, if it's not already, if that could be available electronically for someone to fill out. Okay, wonderful. There's just not a lot of lines for someone to be descriptive, so I want to make it as easy. And then the one other comment I have was on the very last document, board policy 6220, bid for investor proposal requirements. On page 2, in item E, and this is just a question before the second reading, there's an added line that says the board will ensure government agencies have followed their own procurement procedure prior to making a purchase. And I'm wondering how we would be accountable to this policy if you do that. So I understand it's an essential change recommended by LAWSTED, but it just felt like a trap if I have a way of ensuring that their policies were followed. Look at
Generally, if the scope of the purchase falls into what we would have to bid, then we have to ensure that they followed any applicable laws and procedures in that regard. So it wouldn't excuse our ability to, or need to conduct a bid process or vet it out. So what we would normally do is have that documentation that they have competitively bid or done other items so that we cover ourselves. So it doesn't prevent us from the need to conduct that same scope of research if we go somewhere else. We have to make sure that our documentation is solid for when we go to audit, that we have the documentation just as if we would have done that directly ourselves.
that makes sense, as long as we're able to provide proof that we ensured they were following. So, all right, those were my only comments. So if there's no further feedback, we'll go ahead and move these forward, but prior to second read, if there's any additional feedback, or even at second read, if there's additional feedback, we can hold off approving these until we're all good with the changes. Wonderful. Thank you. So at this time, I am really excited high school. What are their update this year?
Thank you, Director David. Make sure technology's on. So first of all, just welcome to Orting High School. We always love this time of year that we get back to you again and we get to brag about and show you our students and our staff. I know we went in depth with a presentation on our CSIP, so today I'm not going to go real in depth with our CSIP. I know you just love to hear a lot of it from us, right? But I just want to remind you about the major things that we're working on this year. And that CSIP, number one, being student agency. In layman's terms, we want students to know that they're loved. We want them to feel belonging. And we want them to feel relevancy and what's being put in front of them and learning. We want them to own them. I hope you see that today. Just to be transparent and open, these students have all planned what it is they're going to say. They have not figured out we didn't script it. I'm really excited to see what they have. What my hope is that's genuine, and I hope that you see a student agency and students proud of the work, finding relevancy in what they're doing, connecting it to their life and their summits. And at Orting High School, we talk about summits. The Orting High School Summit, the service we're out here, is their ultimate goal, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Let's go to number one. Goal number two is just daily relevancy. Orting High School is known for great results and great student learning. We feel like we can become more efficient if we target each and every day to be important, and students know that each and every day is important. So we're trying to target our learning to become more efficient with what is today, why does it matter to me, why is it important? Motion sensor. So that's that daily relevancy. And last is successful transition, early success, especially in this time of COVID. The 9th grade year research says if you were successful on track to graduate at the end of your 9th grade year, your chance of graduating on time increased dramatically. We've included for this year 10th graders as well, knowing that they didn't get their 9th grade year, they didn't have that successful transition. So a concentration of both 9th and 10th grade is still really concentrated on this year, so we'll hear about some of that. So, we had a strong instructional focus we started the year, and something odd happened at Orting High School. We saw some behaviors we've never witnessed before, some real unkindness, some real antisocial behaviors walking through the hall. I think all of you can probably back this up. Kids were mean, more so than they ever have been, and saying unkind things, and we had horrible things being said, both at a racial level, about different genders and sexualities, and what we saw out in the world, and the tension, came right inside the hallways. So the world's still grappling with that. How do we deal with that? How do we bring everyone together? We decided at Orting High School we were going to wait, we were just going to attack that face forward. So what we did is we called every leader in the school, every captain of every team, every club officer, every class officer, and the executive officers. Aaron Lee, Mr. Carlson, Mr. Slagle, and myself just had a listening session where we just said, what is going on? And we asked them some questions. So what I've done to save you, Mr. Slaughter specifically said I'd love to hear from some of that, so that's, these are the results you're going to see. So the first question I asked was, what is your summit? If I could have my leaders join me now. Go ahead, guys. All of you. So our first listening summit was getting an answer to these questions. Our second listening summit, I took these questions I presented to our staff last Friday, and I asked the staff to respond to them. And those responses I gave today to all, about 100 of those leaders again today. They took those responses. I have not heard this. This is a report for me and for all of us as well, because I have not heard this yet. They're going to let us know what the students did with that. So we first started with students who got their individual feedback. We typed every one of them out. I'm going to present them to you graphically, and after each question, they're going to present to us what our student leaders did with that. So the first one, which they didn't deal with, which I just want to talk about, is what is your summit? So this is our 100 students, so it's pretty representative with 100 students. I was blown away by this because only half of them named an educational career goal. That was different than our staff. Only half of them said that. 28% of them named a positive personal attribute. I want to be a better person. I want to be a person I can be proud of. I want to be a good citizen. 17% actually said, my summit is to either improve the world or improve the school. And then we had about 4% that said they want to restore fiber OHS culture to our building. So that was really telling me what the kids were really proud of that slide right there. Because what I expected was 99% would say, I want to be a plumber, an engineer, and just the thoughtfulness from the kids. So that's the first one. And you can see some of the examples. I just cherry-picked a few of them. You see some examples of all the responses. Second question we asked, what do you love about OHS? So I'm going to let know that, so you can see 42% made positive attributes about their staff. That is awesome. 22% the tight-knit family and community feel that we have here. 23% of school pride, and 13% safety at home. So I took that and gave that to the staff. I asked the staff, how can we grow this culture? They made a poster, and they listed a bunch of ideas as a staff, and we presented it to this group. So this group, what introduced that question today, we're going to be in.
Thank you. All right, so for the first question, which with the what ideas do you have that would help grow positive, tight-knit culture at OHS? We had several ideas. First, we could start off by promoting more of the sports and activities and clubs that we do more on our social media. We used to have a potty talk in our bathrooms, like on the stalls, and we're hoping to create more of that on social media and back again in the bathroom stalls, just as a fun little thing. One of the other things we had up here is a club and sports recognition fair again for some of the more underrepresented clubs and sports. Maybe like a round robin session just to get people knowing like what's going on and stuff like that. One of my personal favorites for some underrepresented fall sports, golf and cross country, would happen to be a barbecue at them, so more people maybe would come out and come watch and support. And yeah, what other things do we have up here? We had more mental health awareness. That was a huge one we had. There's some programs we're hoping to implement in the future that we can start to work on. And maybe like a movie night or, yeah, a movie night and bring back the popcorn, like Friday popcorns or something like that. So yeah. My name's Grace Smith, and we kind of had the idea to introduce our own summits before we spoke, but before I spoke. My summit is to maintain a solid GPA of 3.5 or better and introduce a mental health program into the OHS culture.
So next question we asked our students, there's some examples about what they love about OHS. Next up, what social behaviors do you see that prevent you and others from reaching their summits? So this is strictly social. You'll see 74% were unkind and discriminatory behavior. These were not multiple choice. They all wrote their thoughts out and we categorized them. Our leadership kids painstakingly typed out every single one of their comments. They wrote them on post-it notes and went around the room and put them on posters. They documented all of them and then we categorized them. You guys read the rest of those. 13% apathy, no effort. Next 11% disruptive, disrespectful behavior in class. And then smaller, bored, not motivated, negative self-talk. Some examples of that.
Hello, my name is Shanalay Salazar, and my summit is to bring light to mental health and find ways to deal with my own. The question that we decided to use today was, how could leaders form a campaign of kindness at OHS? There's many, many great ideas. My personal favorite is the Big and Little program, which I feel could be seniors and sophomores getting together and juniors and freshmen getting together. Another great idea was homework buddies, because especially now, we've been out of school for so long, kids are really struggling with homework. So having homework buddies to help them would be very efficient. Thank you.
Thank you. Third question, what academic behaviors do you see that prevent students from reaching their summits? 37% named motivation is the number one thing. 26, participation and effort. 18% lack of help and support. 15% disruptive, disrespectful behavior, and last is self-issues. Zero prompting, this is what kids come up with. What gets zero. I don't think our kids get enough credit for being as reflective as they are. So, what did we do with as leaders?
Hi, I'm Cameron Rochon, and my summit is maintaining a high GPA so I can succeed in like college and like my future goals. And so we changed the question in order to find a solution, which was we started with asking them what motivates them in order to get to their summit, and how can we use that in order to motivate the other kids at our school. And some of the things we came up with was things like having stronger deadlines, because when students don't feel like their stuff is necessary to do, they're not going to end up doing it. And social and focus on kids' social and emotional lives, because if they have things going on at home, they're less likely to be focused during class. And having more clubs and stuff for kids so they can feel involved and comfortable in what they're doing at the school. And then we also talked about having more people that the kids feel comfortable talking to when they're here, so in case something happens and they don't have anybody else to talk to, they have a way to find somebody to talk to.
Just to be clear, in a public meeting, I heard students say they want harder deadlines. You guys make sure we save those posters too on any of those. All right, we changed your classroom to help you reach your summit. Top there is flexible assignments, choice, hands-on work. You guys can read them. Discipline changes, more students talking to one another. Independence, freedom to work, kind of could probably go with that right area too. Less lecture time, more help and support. Pretty specific feedback for us. You can see some examples. It was something, please do something about discipline, or punish kids more, or punish kids less, or some sort of adjustment to this.
Hello, it's me again. The question that we decided for is, what are some strategies you can use as a leader to increase student participation in the classroom? The number one way that we got from everyone saying is class-based learning, like discussions. And the only way that we can really do that is if ourselves as leaders, captains of teams and everything, they come together and they raise their hands more, they initiate that discussion-based learning. And another thing we noticed is that kids have been really mean this year, as Teresa said earlier. And doing that discourages kids and makes them not want to raise their hand and speak in class. So we decided that we have to redirect the negativity into positivity and tell a student who raised their hand, like, hey, I really like what you had to say.
All right, this is the one that kids, I really like, get excited about, because we got lots of advice for the principals. What's a cool addition, tradition you'd like to be considered for OHH? You got that many leaders in the room, there's lots of opportunities. So, specific school idea, those are varied, all kinds of things. Lunch was pretty popular, terrific. More activities and assemblies and events. They really, it was clear that they wanted more activities as a whole school. They wanted more things. They had lots of ideas, diversity celebrations, sports and club celebrations, PR things. So we're going to hear from them what they had in this category.
Hello, my name is Jackson Martin, and My summit is being a 24-hour person. That just means every day, 24 hours, I'm there, can be counted on. So for this group, the question was, as a student body, what would you like to see as a new tradition? So we did notice that a lot of what people wrote down was already happening or happened a few years ago, but it was interesting to see that as we haven't been back to school in a while, people forgot. So our favorite ones that we noticed was rubber ducks. We just started that yesterday. A very big hit that was just something we can do annually, monthly, just a fun little fundraiser for ASB. Another idea was an amazing race. So it's piggybacking off of the TV show. This would just be something to get more involvement within sports, in clubs, make little rewards for each time you show up to something. Another one was March Madness. March Madness is normally a big downtime for school, not a lot of breaks, just in and out of school. This would be a weekly event for sports. You have your team, get to compete after school, have a bracket style March Madness. And finally, a school community project. This would be an annual thing, something that students know happens this month, or every year it would change, something different, but that no matter what club you're in, if you're in no club, you can show up and help out.
I'm telling you, off-campus lunch came up a lot, didn't it? I've heard that. So, leaders, just real quick, who wants to point out? Yeah, come now. From Heidi. So how did we end the meeting? What did we end? Was there a charge?
So how we ended the meeting was once everybody had gone through, we had a discussion. All the leaders were instructed to get their phones out and take a picture of each poster. And what we wanted them to do was find one thing from each poster to go back to their club or sport to try to implement. So this would be turned in from just ideas to something that we can actually put out into the school. And our next meeting, hopefully, we can look back at the progress they've made from the ideas we've created.
Well, leaders, thank you very much. Trying to get sidetracked on the reasons. So what we ask our teachers to do is increase student agency. We've got to hear from the students, so we really have to put them in the driver's seat. So we have to model that as leaders. So I'm going to take this information, we're going to look at it, how can we change it? Kids need to see action. They have to see that this stuff happens. So we're going to look through it as soon as possible and see if we can get grow some leaders in our school. We have a great leadership teacher. This is all if you just raise your hand and really attention, but this is how we can have leaders. So our CT director and assistant principal, we have Mr. Carlson, is going to take over here.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze. Board, it's just awesome to see all these kids here, isn't it? And now you're going to get to hear from some more kids. So one of our goals that we talked about was this idea of increasing student agency. And one of the things that we think about when we think about that word is we think about opportunities to empower kids to have relevant learning that they take ownership over and that they engage in throughout their school day, but beyond their school day. And it matters to them well beyond when they leave here at Orting High School. Part of that work started this week. I'm exhausted because our FFA kids, myself and Mrs. Gum, spent some time at PTR and OPS and OMS over the last 3 days. And I'm really proud. We're going to hear from our FFA students, and we're going to hear from some of our FBLA students. We've done some incredible work, and what I want you to understand about these students and what they're going to present to you is this is their ownership, this is their ideas, and the things that they're doing are coming from them, not the adults in the room. So I'm going to turn it over to our FFA students. Austin, come on up. I'm going to hand the mic off to you, sir. And Mrs. Gunn's probably going to take some pictures and videos. Yes, okay. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Austin, and he'll introduce his team and tell you a little bit about what FFA has been up to increase ownership and belonging of their school in the way that they've been doing it. Actually, I'm going to give it to Ashlyn. Excuse me, Ashlyn.
Hello, board members. We're the Orting Ffa Chapter Farm for Kids competition team. My name is Ashlyn Silver, the Orting Chapter Secretary, and this is my team.
I'm also born, I'm your FFA president for the Orting.
I'm Madison Collins, and I'm an FFA member.
The Orting FFA Farm for Kids has been bringing agriculture to the classroom for grades K through 6. We hosted some activities for the students to get them engaged, informed, and excited about agriculture. The activities included pin the product, build the emblem, pick to farming, brand them, dump the dog, and ear notching. So today we'd like to present to you an adult version of Build the Emblem so you can know a little about the National FFA organization.
This is the corn. This is a symbol of unity because it is grown in all 50 states of America. Our official colors are national blue and corn gold. Sunrise. This is the sunrise. It is a token of a new era of agriculture. Every day the sun comes up, it's a new day for us, a new opportunity to farm, plant, and take care of land and animals, and it's a new day for agriculture.
Plow. You don't really see these kind of plows anymore. A plow's job is to tilt the soil, make it soft for us to plant crops. Plows are a symbol of labor, tillage of the soil, and all the hard work we have put throughout the years to be where we are now.
The next piece is the owl. It represents wisdom and knowledge and represents our teachers who educate us, guide us, expand our knowledge, and broaden our horizons. The piece after that is the eagle. It represents our national organization, which FFA is the largest student-led organization in our nation and is spreading amongst the world. FFA is our sport. It's what we stand for and it's what we represent. FFA is formerly known as Future Farmers of America and is now known as the National FFA Organization because we are more than sow, plows, and cows. We are more than just farming. Agricultural education is what we learn to be part of the FFA. We learn about plants, animals, wildlife, fishing, trees, soil, farming, etc. You can't have one without the other.
Thank you for having us here today. I hope you enjoyed our short and sweet presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask us and our advisor, Mrs. Bell, at this time. We're thinking about having an FFA banquet. We don't have a lot of details planned out yet. That's actually what we're planning on doing this upcoming week. In the 8th grade, our age program.
Outreach.
Outreach program. Yeah, thank you. We have some of them. This is what we passed out to all of you.
We do actually have a state competition coming up in the spring. We're still trying to figure out details, but we're very excited. I believe the other members won. I wasn't there. It sounds like that. Sure, I know the kids love the stars and all that. All done.
Real quick, stay up here. I just want to ask you guys real quick. You also won some awards. This is the first year FFA has been. We started up last year, but I'm just going to say it didn't count. It was not the normal year. So the fact that these kids, this is their first year doing this, and they are all in. And I just want to talk about, you guys won some awards, correct? At the Division II, which is our region. And what were those awards? I know, if you don't know off the top of your head, that's okay. But Austin, do you know what they were? Okay. What about the connection with one of our local Fur Run Nursery, right? Do you want to talk just a little bit about that and what that means for you right now?
Hi, I'm Austin again. So I only go to school 1 through 4th period, and then I run to Fur Run Nursery. I'm sure you guys know the last name Fenmore off of Leach Road. So I work there with them for an hour, and then whenever my dad needs me for work credit and I need my hours, I go to work with my dad. So it's just, yeah, it's pretty fun.
And that was a community involvement award that we were able to get for the Fur Run Nursery through this program. And they have been working on our advisory board, and then also to now have a student that was placed out. That is our goal with all these programs, is to have kids placed out in the community working as apprentices, pre-apprenticeship programs. That's the long-term vision, and we're really excited that this is taking flight. So well done, kids. You did awesome. Thank you very much. Okay? All right. Their other award was the Program of the Year, right? Program of the Year for a brand new program to get Program of the Year so early. So these guys are going to go compete at regionals and state, and that's the goal. And Mrs. Gum is highly competitive, and you can see she's training them very well. So I'm going to call our Mrs. Polly and our FBLA students come on up, and our business management, culinary 3, and entrepreneurship programs have been doing an incredible collaboration. I could brag about this all night long, but I want our kids to brag about it with you. And I'm going to just tell you short and sweet, you're going to hear a story of when we talk about shared leadership as principals in a high school, it's kind of scary, right? It's kind of scary to say, hey, we're the leaders of the building, so we should make all the decisions and go from there. These guys turned our minds last year with a proposition they gave to us, no joke. They sat us down, they did a presentation, we thought we were going one direction, they changed our minds, we went with their direction. And I want you to hear that story and hear about the power of student voice in our school. So who am I turning it over to? Cheyenne. Yes. Just hold it right by your mouth, you'll be okay. Here you go, Cheyenne.
Hello everyone, Orting School Board. I'm Cheyenne, this is Kenzie, Matt, and Hondo. We are the nest managers, and Hondo is our bistro manager. We represent the CTE student-based enterprise courses. We began entrepreneurship last year with plans to open a small student store, which is over there, but we had other visions for a larger store. And so we got our goal together and we presented it to our admin, and we were lucky enough for the admin to accept our request, and then it all started.
We discussed as a class on what we wanted to sell in our store and ordered it. Us managers took a field trip to WorkPoint in Seattle to look at their inventory. They provide for colleges, high schools, and businesses. We looked for their, we looked for the thing that we could possibly use in our student store. We worked together and made an idea board of what we wanted in our store and what we wanted it to look like. And we presented it to admin and got the approval of it.
We are still waiting on our WorkPoint purchase to arrive due to it taking 4 to 5 months to produce and ship products due to high supply and demand. We had a class discussion on product pricing and logo placement, then we started the heat pressing process. Tonight we are all wearing our new gear. The COVID has impacted our plans by opening by October 2021 and has given us more time to prepare and practice.
Over on the culinary side, we have gone over plenty of things such as menu designs, items on the menu, perfecting recipes for those items. And we've had a virtual meeting going over safety and procedures, and we go through practice runs basically every week, every other week. And going forward, we're looking on new items that we want to introduce, as long with getting everyone used to multiple different groups or projects, and adapting to what the school wants, what everyone wants to make everyone happy.
What am I supposed to say? Thank you.
to approve of everything, and then we'll be able to sell it. But as of right now, just as the business class and the culinary, we've been prepping the food, and because we're not actually selling it, we've been like trying all the products and seeing how to make it all better. Any other questions? At the moment, no. We've been, yeah, we don't know. We can let you know though. Thank you.
Okay, you can't leave, you gotta stay here, stay here. We gotta break about you just a minute more. So here's the thing, these guys, when we say they literally shifted our mindset, you saw pictures of us looking at blueprints and designs, they drew up sketches, they did math, they ran math stuff by us, they called us down to consult with us. I mean, this is incredible work that's being happened. You talk about high level. What's that? They met with the superintendent, they brought him over to take a look at what they wanted to do. It's just incredible to see them applying their knowledge that they've learned while students in the Orting School District, and we are very proud of you, very proud of your work, and you're not here behind them, they represent other students that aren't here tonight. Of all of our student groups, I want you to understand there's more kids like them doing the work with them. They're the mouthpiece tonight, but there's lots of kids doing this work in our school, and we're very proud of them. We thank you, Mrs. Polly, for being their advisor and helping to drive the bus behind them, and we really appreciate that. The food, I can attest that they've tested with our staff, is amazing. And we think we're getting the menu dialed in, right, Hondo? Yeah, so pretty awesome. And I'm just really quickly going to ask you guys each, we talked about summits earlier, I forgot to do this with the FFA kids, but what is your summit? Would you mind sharing with the board your own personal summit for when you leave Orting High School, or what you want to, or maybe while you're in here?
My summit is to get into college and build an education on business, so to one day open my own. I want to open a restaurant in the future.
My summit is basically positive, but I'd like to open my own business soon. I would like to go to culinary college.
My summit is to go to college and play softball and become a registered dietitian. I'm going to follow the same steps as Matthew and Hondo. I want to go to college and pursue a business degree and open my own company. Don't know what that'll be yet, but we're getting there.
Are we done yet? Yes, you guys can take off. Okay, we'll move this right along. We have another group of students. Come on up, our STEM students. We have an incredible STEM program with an incredible STEM teacher, science, technology, engineering, and math. Many years ago, we converted our old woodshop lab to STEM, and I just want to say, board, that you hear this loud and clear. We did not abandon the trades. We did not abandon the trades. We shifted. The Pierce County Skills Center construction program has a construction program, aerospace program. Our trades are alive and well, and our kids that go to the Skills Center are engaged in the trades and in trades training. So I want you to hear that. STEM is also another huge field where education and career opportunities exist. We want to tie this presentation into our goal around daily learning and how daily learning matters in the course of coming up to an end goal around a project. And these STEM students are going to demonstrate for you the power of what they do each day connected together to an end goal. And I'm very excited to turn it over to them. So, who's going to grab the mic first? All right. Okay, Mrs. Thompson.
I'll go ahead and introduce these guys. We have Cressa Klotz and Allie Boyles, two of our amazing female STEM students. So if you have girls, tell them to take STEM. We need more girls in STEM.
Hi, as you've heard from Ms. T, my name is Caressa, and this first semester in STEM, we've really focused on the hands-on learning, and our main goal was to build a really cool glider that can actually fly, as you can see on the main table, And in order to do this, we needed like key pieces of information that involved like a lot of physics and math. And we're left with this big question, or left with the question like, what do we need to learn in order to actually like build a glider and fly? So we brainstormed some questions. What makes the plane fly and land? That's one that we will definitely be touching on and answering for you. And some other ones like, what's the best wing shape? What's the best like camber size? What do we want our landing gear to look like? What is overall like, the most effective way to do this? And we, throughout the year, as you can see through some of the papers that we presented to you, we've been testing out things like wing shape, wing design, different like shapes, like rectangular, triangular, just stuff like that to see which like what flies the best, and overall just like best possible for success. Anyway, so we learned that forces are found in pairs, and that each control structure on the glider affects specific forces. There are many different shapes and customizations that you can make to the glider that affect how it performs. For example, our group made a rectangular shaped wing and a little, like, what's the word? I'm sorry, I'm blanking on it. Okay, for the cardboard cutout, you can see on the side of the wing, our stabilizer, we used positively and zero turns camber shapes. Thank you. So that's what it looks like, and they're a little bit high, but overall it actually flew pretty well. The design's a little bit different, but it ended up flying pretty good. It's very powerful. All right, Allie?
I bet you're wondering how we got our camber ribs the exact same size. So we use this machine called the laser engraver, sorry, which cuts the cardboard with the utmost accuracy. And we use AutoCAD Inventor to print out our ribs and make technical drawings of our design. What parts of the plane make it fly? I'd say the main part of the plane would be the engine and airfoil. The engines work by transformation energy, and it transforms the electrical energy into mechanical energy, and it causes force that thrusts the glider forward. For the airfoil, we use a heat shrink plastic to cover the cardboard ribs that cause it to lift. Lift is caused by the air above the wing that has traveled farther and faster than the air under the wing, which is why we decided to use a positive camber on the top and a zero camber on the bottom. Is something real? Or is it that?
So as you can see here, our plane took like one lap and then started flying. Our end goal, so our end goal was to lift off after one lap and fly around in a circle 3 times and then land on a certain target. And our plane has successfully done that. And we did 3 different trials and it worked every single time.
by scratch. We used sticks, glue. At one point we tried using styrofoam. We found that cardboard through like the laser cutter worked a lot better with the airfoiling, which is that shiny plastic stuff over it. And basically the whole class, like it was trial and error, and we figured out that that's the best design, and then tested it out, and it worked.
We have 2 3D printers, but the STEM 1 and 2 kids are just learning the CAD program and how to build all of the AutoCAD stuff in the program. And so it's usually the STEM 3 kids that start doing more 3-dimensional design and using the 3D printers, although these guys will get a chance this semester to print nose cones, which sounds really easy, but is a lot harder than it sounds.
Yeah, this last slide, we already kind of talked about that. It worked.
So last week, again, these 2 represent 3 classrooms where this is happening. And you can see them unpacking, and Director Thibodeau, you referenced it spot on. The daily learning that takes place over the course of a semester to arrive at this project and to arrive at these learning outcomes. Second to none, Mrs. Thompson is a powerhouse. I could not be more proud of her work with our students, and I would put her up against any instructor in the state of Washington, let alone the nation, that's doing this kind of work with our kids. And we have no idea how fortunate we are to have her here in Orting, working with our students. Some of these kids are going to go on to be engineers. Some of them are going to go on to become pilots or work in aerospace, and some of them are going to go on to do other things with their lives, but they've learned an incredible amount because they've been in her classes, and we're just so grateful to have her. I do want to just say that this month, February, is CTE month, and I've got to give a shout out and just say we've highlighted some CTE programs for you tonight, and that's because of but it's not just because it leads to industry or it leads to employment, it's because it integrates and applies all of the knowledge these kids have learned in our system, and we're so proud of our teachers and our students. And I'm going to turn it back over to Cliff, and we're going to talk about our 3rd goal and bring one more student and teacher up.
And just to brag about that program, we do have a student who recently graduated from Orting, the University of Washington, who's currently employed as a rocket engineer with SpaceX. So, Japanese. Actually, I have 2 rocket engineers. All right, next I want to talk freshman success. I know it's been a long night, but it's hopefully been worth it. I thought I'd have 2 different angles on this. Tonight we have 2 people. First, I want to introduce you to Olin Klein. Olin Klein is a senior going through our program, and I would deem him as a quite a successful senior. I literally said, hey, can you talk about your experience going through Orting High School? Yeah, and I checked him a couple days later, and I was like, you got that? He's like, yeah, I got it. You got over it? Oh, good. So I think this will also be an example of student agency.
First off, thank you for you guys for having me. It's such an honor. But I just wanted to talk about how it can be really scary coming from 8th grade from middle school coming up to this high school. But honestly, I came from Puyallup School District in 6th grade. I came here in 7th, and it was really weird. Really weird. It was so big over there, and there was just so much more stuff going on, and all the classroom sizes were bigger. It was 40 kids to a class, and I come here, and all the teachers and all the principals knew me by name within the first month, and I just thought that was insane. The small town feel is just so awesome, and I was really excited to come to that. And so coming from 8th grade here to 9th grade, like I said, everyone had open arms, but for the teachers to really get to know you, and even just not in the classroom, but to even get to know you as a person. I know some of these teachers that I will honestly probably be Facebook and Instagram friends for the rest of my life and check in with them just because of all the good conversations and getting to know me more than just in the classroom. And especially in sports, Jody Coleman, our wrestling, oh my gosh, he's done so much for this town, not only in our high school, but our little kids just really buying into our even junior program. I mean, even though he has a kid in there, even when I was in 8th grade, I always saw him like every other week coming in and checking out how we were doing, and I know he would do anything for me. And yeah, Orting has done a very, very good job, and I'm so thankful for all of the opportunities and everything that you guys have allowed us to have. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I have 2 summits. My first summit is to win a state title this year. I'm currently ranked 1st in the state, so hopefully I can back that up. And, sorry. So I'm a wrestler, and I'm going to Colorado Mesa this year. I just recently signed about 2 weeks ago. I had a pretty good athletic scholarship and academic, and so I'm going to major in business management and then minor in political science, and then hopefully pass my bar exam and get accepted to law school, and that's really where I want to go. You guys have any questions? I really appreciate that. Thank you guys.
Owen's very humble. Owen's an amazing wrestler and an amazing student, and an amazing leader, an amazing young man, which is why I just gave him free ride from time to time. So I want to celebrate just one example of amazing kids that come through our system and make our system better. So Owen, thank you very much. Next, I want to talk about students who are successful and what happens to those students. And I'd like to bring Ms. Pinellas coming up. It's really important this year. This is Ms. Pinellas' last year. So I'm spending an entire year, Pat and I are spending an entire year trying to think about what makes this woman so amazing, so that I can systematize her talents across the system so we don't lose the amazing things that she's done here. So I would like her to talk just a little bit about what happens when kids fail and how is that developing over time. Jennifer.
Seriously, I had to sit and listen to the amazing kids, and you guys got to see what kind of things are going on. And now we get to talk about the other side, really, but I'm not going to first. So, I was hired 10 years ago by Mr. Hudson-Miller, sitting right there. When I started, I was teaching a couple periods a day for credit recovery. We had a lot of kids who were juniors and seniors who were very, very credit deficient, and Mrs. Tracy was running a program at the time as well. And it became pretty clear that we needed to change something. We couldn't have juniors and seniors 2 and 3 credits deficient. So the focus over the sort of evolution of the program over the next few years was to work on, let's grab our freshmen and our sophomores. Let's build a program where we can grab them early, because as Mr. Fruit says, if you can get a freshman on track before their sophomore year, or a sophomore before their junior year, they are miles ahead in terms of their possibility of graduation and going on to college or future or anywhere. So that's the program that we built at the high school. We grabbed them early. This year we looked at incoming freshmen with a huge deficit. These kids have had a year and a half of online, and a lot of what we're going to do. So we got a little bit more, I think, proactive than ever before in terms of we started right at orientation in August, and made sure every single kid had their Skyward access, gave them a little card, this is your Skyward access, gave them a big pep talk, that orientation of how do you be successful coming into high school. We followed that up in the English department. I went around to all the classes 3 weeks later to once again, does everybody got their access, does everybody know how, does everybody got a book? Because that was the second highest failure rate with the freshmen, is that they don't read, and then they fail English first semester because they didn't get their reading. So between the English teachers and the library and Amazon, we made sure that every single kid had a book in their hand. I think we were largely successful with that, because then what follows after that in my area with the counselors is we print an atlas every 3 weeks. And that atlas becomes the thing we track. And we start individually calling in and saying, hey, notice you don't have English, what's going on, how can I help?
And that's always, I sound like that program manager then. It's like, how can I help? You know, and I always tell them, hey, I'm team, whatever the student name is, I'm not here to beat you up, put your grades. I'm here to talk about what we need to, how we can get more successful at this. It becomes a strategically important part of the program that the kids understand that there's a human on campus that is touching them, whether it be their teacher, whether it be me, whether it be the counselor. And so we work really hard at that. In English particularly, the focus was to do those 3-week checks, to call them back in, to make sure. And, well, I'll tell you about the data in a minute. I'll keep yapping. So math was a little bit different. In math, the structure, again, is focusing on freshmen and sophomores in grade 1 and grade 2. As soon as the first F shows up, that means they failed their worksheet unit test. So math teachers and myself calling them in, offering a homework club, doing remediation with those kids, offering them a retake opportunity, hugely successful to getting them back on track, because now we're not, failing the first test, failing the second test. So hugely important to get them on track early and quickly. And then let them know that there's a place, you aren't lost, you can go to your teacher after school, you have dinner after school. I had a student show up today, just randomly walked through the door and said, is this homework club? I said, yes, how can I help you? Oh, I just want to see your work. Oh, okay. Do you have any colored pencils? I sure do. It's been a road. Math, we've made a little bit of a change because we have a huge failure rate by December. 60 kids failed the test. 60. I was like, good Lord, no. So we did a pull-out session. I did a pull-out session. I had math teachers agree to that. I did a 3-day pull-out session, tutoring and remediation. Gave the test again. Things went very, very well. And again, in retrospect, do I wish I had started that? I did it a little earlier. Yes, I do, because it worked super well. So now this week, as you guys know, or may not know, we got a bit of an upheaval in grade 1 with our math teacher. Because we had a math teacher leave in October. We replaced it with a long-term sub. She's now left. So these kids have had to ring around the teacher. So we've gone into a new idea, and I think it's going to work super well. We had a huge problem with kids not turning in their homework. Like zeros, because I've now taken over that grade book, the zeros are insane. So I went and talked to each one of those classes this week and said that will change. That is changing effective this week, first day of the semester. So we've got a system in place where kids turn it all over tomorrow. They're going to get a quiz every Friday. Quiz isn't going in grade book. Quiz is a way of me and I'm going to collect all that stuff and go through and figure out who are our kids who don't get it. I provided them with a reflection sheet. The math teachers are all on board. And as of Monday, we're going to do Monday half day. They're going to send those kids to me in a pull-out session every Monday. I'm going to get the kids who failed the quiz, didn't get the quiz, period by period, do that pull-out session with those kids. It's a pilot program. But I think that Mr. Freeze is talking about something that's sustainable. If we can figure out a way to have that kind of intervention immediately, then we don't get to the failed test. We're going to get intervention immediately after the failed quiz, and then after the next failed quiz, and then hopefully before the failed test. So it's a pilot program, I'll let you know. So just to give you a little bit of idea of numbers, in November we had 80 freshmen with 1 or more Fs. As of today, the data, we have 41, which is still a terribly high number, but we're not done yet. 23 of those only have 1 F. And this week I'm remediating, last week, this week the teachers, we're still working on those, because those kids, it's one little thing, it's whatever. I think we're going to knock that down to about 5, which is going to leave us with about 18 kids that have more than 1 F. Of those kids, 6 of them are already in credit recovery. By the end of the week, there are another 12 will be. It's just a matter of me getting together with the kids. Once a student has more than 1 F, they're immediately placed in credit recovery during the school day program. 1 F, it's after school, they can work in 7th hour, they can do summer school. But once it hits 2, we're immediately putting them into the credit recovery program. So that's my story. Questions? I remember your boy.
you, but I push back so hard on him all the time because he keeps saying, yes, you can replace me. We need to hire me in May, not wait until I'm gone. Give me some time. I think everything I do is replicable. I believe that you have to bring the right human. You do need the right human. Let's try it. Let's start interviewing. Let's start talking. Because there's lots of people. Joanne was the most caring, loving person on the planet when she was running her program. I'm a caring, loving person. We're not the only two. There's got to be another one out there. It is a necessary decision. I would 100% say that you've got to have somebody who takes on that role. You should see this today. I was walking in the classroom with kids. It's just funny now, right? Because I walk in and I'll call a name and the kids are, oh, no, you're going to have to go to homework club. And the student was like, no, she's just bringing me a paper. But it's just hilarious now, right? When any classroom I walk into, they're all like, nice things to do. Oh, come on, you guys stop that. They need to know it's a caring person, but it's also a person that's there to say, come on now.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I tell her is, I don't know if you replace you with a human. I think it's going to take some humans to replace her work. And I've grown tremendously as a leader in just watching her work, bringing her ideas. When we first met, I was like, what is this lady's deal? She's just always shooting ideas and she's always troubleshooting. She, like Mr. Carlson said, represents a whole group of staff members behind her that are amazing, caring, loving human beings that do this work, that make our clients and make our leaders and all the students you saw tonight. So I just want to pause for a moment. And Matt and I get to serve the staff at Orting High School, but the reason this place is the way it is because of the staff and families in this community. And that's what we're representing.
Again, I walk through the door of a lot of but they always support, they're always kids first, right? No matter what, they're always kids first.
So it's amazing. So thank you, Jennifer, very much. Wesley plans. So that's, I don't think that's the last slide. So I hope you guys are really good flavor for what students and staff do already in high school. There's lots of, I think we could do this presentation 4 more times with different kids and different things, but I just want to take a moment for questions from the board about anything and everything.
So number one, when we started the presentation tonight, you mentioned that you didn't have a preview of what you were going to say. You changed a little bit. But I just wrote down here that we letters trust. And we trust that you're able to have knowing you take care about their high school as much as you care about their high school is incredible. And secondly, I had attended something over the weekend and I heard a quote by a student representative about making decisions with students, not for them. And this is exemplified for me tonight with your students being up there. They're making those decisions. They're carrying things through. They're CCTVs, for everything like that. So, some questions for those, and thank you.
Another shout out real quick on that one. Director who's been supporting the high school, he's spent lots and lots of hours. I think I've known a lot of members of the cabinet spent a lot of hours talking to kids and working through some of that. Director Lee's even got a doctor from the University of Washington coming out, is actually working with Canadian leadership about in particular diversity, and what does it mean, what do these students and heard, and how do we feel as a school, and how do we lead that? And so I just want to thank Mr. Lee for helping assist us in that. I definitely have seen a change in behavior. I think that's really messy. So we do have a lot of different groups, and I'm not going to sugarcoat that. They still have a lot of different beliefs, and they're not real comfortable with where they're at still. They're in the stage of talking, listening to one another, and they're all getting a room together. So what we're trying to do is have a conversation in the room, and push the rest of the way up. Just have it be about what do you think about each other, one another, in this room. So that conversation started, but there's still a lot of words with our students.
And so I think that a key message that we're going to continue to hear from us is we might all come from different walks of life. We all might bring different things to the schoolhouse, but we're all partners. And there's got to be things that unify us, and we have to have some shared values. We know this as adults. That's the kind of work we do as adults with our teaching staff and with our kids. And it's about passing that on to the kids that we have to define what are our shared values. And I think that's where we're at this year. We're learning. So yes, I might be student type X, stereotype this way, and I might be C over here, but we have still some shared values that make us cardinals, and this is a place where we can come together and unify. And I think that works hard. We know that works hard, but you heard the kids. We have the right leaders in the school to do this hard work, and it will not just be done this year. You guys know that. This is an ongoing process, so we're excited to do this.
And one time we had a small lecture, so it just shows kids are actually learning a lot of different ones, but they don't know that was not one of it. It was just a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, that was really
That was interesting. It was really fun. The staff actually was watching to see the difference of adults and the kids, where they were the same, where they were. Yeah. So at the end of the year, I'd like to do that survey again, particularly that some of those issues that we're trying to address, and how we're actually looking at some different tools to survey students and do more meaningful way to post some of that data. But just for the sake of this exercise, I'm probably going to do the same questions for analysis. Yeah, there's a recognition that I talked to leaders, and so the fact that they're leaders means something the system is working for them. So we had some conversation about school works for the people in this room, so what about the people in this room? We definitely get to voice that. Some of the cabinets do some survey of students to get on voices. Lots of teaching. Thank you. I'm telling you, it's easy to receive those kudos and empathies and staff as a community. We went through some hard times, and both the community and the staff stepped up every single time. So it's real easy to look at things like that. So.
Thank you, and thank you for any family students left into your lunch. So next item, now that we've heard from the high school, is board comments. Everybody's all good? Yeah, thank you. All right, so next item is we can go into executive session. And I want to check, are we 15 minutes? Okay, 15 still good? Okay. So this time the board has to go to executive session, so that's closed meeting. So I'll need to ask everyone to vacate the room. And there will be no action taken during the executive session, so it'll just be discussion. And then following that, we will adjourn the meeting. So there's nothing further. We're discussing real estate.
Oh, you brought your laptop? Okay, great.
I think we just say no more